Hello and welcome to this YouTube video. I think this is the most requested video I have been requested, honestly, and it is how I do my filigree wire. Okay, so in this video I'm going to craft just a little bit just to show you how I do it. Okay, so I'm going from raw material and I'm gonna melt it down, roll it, draw it through a draw plate, and we are going to have some beautiful filigree wire we can work with. Okay, so let's get started. So filigree wire is made from pure silver, not sterling but pure, because it's very malleable and we have to manipulate it with the tweezers when we work it. Okay, so since I'm melting just a little bit for this video, I'm gonna use a piece of wood, and I have some pure silver grains. Okay, this is 999 silver, fine silver. Okay, so let's go ahead and melt it down. That is more enough for this video. So what I'm doing now is still liquid. I'm just forming it into an ingot with my tweezers. Since it's just a little bit of silver, I didn't bother with the mold. So I carved just a dimple, in the wood, and used that as the mold. Now it's cooling down, it's getting solid. Okay, let's put it in the water. And we've got an ingot of pure silver. Okay, let me get this up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hammer it to make it as square as possible, so I can then insert it in my rolling mill. So this is how filigree wire starts. May not look very nice at the moment, but once we put it through the rolling mill, it will take shape very quickly. Remember, fine silver, it's very, very soft to work with. It's a beautiful material, and well, let's anneal it. That means I will heat it up and put it in the water. Then it will become soft again, because once you work hard in it, like I did with the hammer, the crystallization structure, okay, will get hard. And when you anneal it, the crystallization, the molecules, they will relax, okay, and the silver will be soft again. So let's hit it with some fire. dark red. Now quench it in water. So we're going to use the rolling mill now, and we're going to start with the biggest grooves. And what we're going to do is open it up. Okay, we'll see how the silver goes in, then pass it through, and then once we fully close the first one, we'll anneal it again, and then we'll go on the second groove, you know, step by step by step, always just slowly putting the rollers down. Okay, so let's start with the big one. So after each step, I am slowly closing the rollers in, just a little bit, not too much. Now fine silver is very forgiving. If you do this with sterling and you overpress it, then you will start having lamination of the silver, and you will see that it will start delaminating from the sides and the corners, and it will be very ugly. Fine silver is very forgiving because it's very soft. The important thing is that the direction you insert it, and it comes out, you put it in the same direction when you put it in the mill. That is very important because of the crystalline structure of the silver. If you do it the opposite way, you're squeezing both ways, you're gonna have some problems with the silver then. So that's the first groove done, and you can see the way it looks now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna show it on camera this time, I'm gonna anneal it again, quench it in water, dry it up, open the rollers back up, and we'll go in the second groove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue till the last groove. Okay, so again, I'll squeeze just a little bit of increment every time for the rollers, pass it again and again, anneal, then the next groove, and I'm going to keep on repeating it until I arrive till the last one. So I'm going to meet you guys on the last one because otherwise it's going to be too long and boring for you guys. So see you later. So what we end up with is a 1mm square wire, okay? Now, we are going to anneal this again, right? I'm going to file the top to a point because I want to insert it into a draw plate. And from a square wire, we're going to turn it into a cylindrical wire, circle, okay? And we're going to reduce the size from 1mm. We are going down to 0.3 of a millimeter, okay? So that is the thickness of wire I'm aiming to. Of course, you can start with you can go to a finer level of 0.26 of a millimeter, and you can go up, you know, to 0.40, you know, but it depends on your preference. I like to use from 0.26 up to 35.35 of a millimeter. That is where I vary from one thickness to the other. Okay, so let's anneal it and start filing the top. So we've got our annealed silver, and let me get some light on here. There you go. So let's file a point so we can insert it, and you will understand better once we start using the draw plate. Now the draw plate is the same as with the rolling mill. You always pull on the same direction. Don't start from one side and then you pull it out, and then you start from the other side. Also, same as with the rolling mill, fine silver is very forgiving, but you still need to anneal and also lubricate it. Now you can use light machine oil to lubricate, wax. And there are special products, but I use mostly light machine oil and wax. I'll show you my wax. This is beeswax that has been used for a long time. I still use it. Just beeswax. Just go on top of it. So let's set up our draw plate and I'll show you how it's done. So, something about the draw plates. Draw plates, don't buy a cheap one because you'll end up buying a better one in the future. It is very important to buy a good quality, and if you take care of it and you lubricate, to last you a long time. So this is a carbide, it has carbide inserts. Draw plate, there are diamond inserts which are much better, but obviously they're much costlier. If you have a carbide one like mine and you take care of it, it will last a long time. Okay, so they do have an in and out position. Okay, so let's see. So this is the in and this is the out. Okay, I even marked this so I know. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and you need it quick. So now I know that this square wire I did, it goes to the 1.3 and we're gonna end up somewhere here. Okay, so I have to go through all these holes, but it's okay, one by one. So as I said, I have my pointed silver here. Okay, and we're gonna insert it from the back, and to pull it out we've got these special drawing pliers. Okay, they're called, and you can also, if it's fine wire and it's you can use a smaller plier like this to pinch it out first to help you out. So let's start. Enough talking and more work. So it's out. Guide it through with your hand and pull. Okay, so what's happening is the square wire is being forced into this hole and it's starting to shape from square to circular. Okay, and doing that you're narrowing the diameter of the silver, squeezing it, but it's also elongating the shape. Okay, so you'll end up with more length but thinner wire. Okay, so what I'm doing is going the next hole, a bit smaller hole, and you can see now it's harder to pull. So I will pull it through this one and anneal it again and file a bit more to a point because it's getting smaller diameter, and we'll put it to the next hole. See how shiny it's starting to shape up. It's already spherical. Okay, so let me anneal it. We'll pull the draw plate to a better position higher up now and file it down and continue. Okay, so we're back with a annealed wire. I felt it at the top and I put the draw plate a bit up so it's easier to work with for me. Now we're doing this process by hand. Obviously there are tools and machines that are automatically, you know, they do this process of wire drawing automatically, and they do it. For example, you've got 6 ties and you reduce it to 6 sizes in one go. Before annealing, they have lubrication, automatic lubrication. But this is how I do it for a small, you know, workshop like I do. And this is the traditional way to do it as well. It is a long process, but in the end, when you craft something and you know that you did it from scratch, you do your own solder, your own sheet, your own filigree wire, you know, it's very satisfying to see the piece. So we'll do the last hole, anneal it, and we'll move the draw plate up again, and we'll go to the next hole. If it was sterling silver, I would have annealed it every 2 holes, but with fine silver you can go for 4 or 5. It will show you, you know, it will show you. You'll get that experience then. It's already taking shape, look. Beautiful. So let me anneal it, move that back up, file it, and then we'll continue. Beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue all the way to here, anneal it, to here, anneal it, and we'll see you guys over here on this point. Okay, so I'm not gonna repeat all the time. So we'll meet on the last hole. See you later. And this is the last one. You can see how much finer now the wire is and longer. And I did cut from it as I went along because this is just a demonstration. I didn't need the wire. So this is how it looks now. Let me see if I can zoom in. This is what I'm aiming for. You can see the difference, thickness. This is some of the stages we went through, okay? And this is what the final result is, okay? But we're not done yet. Next step is annealing, and then we're gonna twist the wire, okay? So this is just a short piece of wire I have, so, but this is enough to show you guys how it's done, okay? So let's anneal this and we'll meet up again. So I've got our wire, okay, which is totally annealed now, very soft, okay, and it's time to twist it. So we've got our annealed fine silver wire, which is ready, and now we go to the last step, which is twisting the wire and then flattening it, okay. So twisting the wire is the trickiest part of it all because it will tend to snap on you when you do this. So the trick is don't twist it too much and then before annealing, okay? And you'll see why, because there should be an amount of twists per centimeter to have a proper filigree wire. It's not just twisting a bit and then flattening it because it won't turn up well, you know, okay? So 2 ends on together the same size. This is the other side. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, let me remove that. Now I'm gonna use an old hand drill to do this. I'm gonna show you now. This is a hand operated drill. You can use a battery operated one, an electrical operated one. As long as you control the speed and don't go too fast, you'll be fine. Now the wire you shouldn't be pulling too tight, right? But not too loose. Because if you do it too loose, you'll end up with a mess. If you pull it too tight, you will snap the wire. If I were you, I would start, with a short wire like I did and experiment on that. When you're comfortable enough to do it, all the stages that I'm doing, then you can, do half a kilo if you want. And you can start from there. But then you'll have to go with a spool like this, because what will happen is you'll get all tangled up if you do it by hand, So, but start slow and start with the basics. Start with a few grains of silver like I did, and you'll get better. You'll see, practice makes perfect. So don't give up. You'll make messes. I still do. But it's okay. That's okay. So let me start. I'll connect the drill. If you have any questions while doing this, don't hesitate. Drop me a comment and I'll try and do my best. I don't tend to be on YouTube as much as I want, because I don't have much time, but I'm trying. So let's connect it, and I'm starting to twist the wire now. As you can see, it's taking shape. When you start twisting, the wire will start getting shorter, so make sure that you move with the wire. Just a bit of tension, not too much. Don't go too fast. And a bit. Now we'll stop and start and then needle it. Don't want to risk snapping it. So let's stop right here. And this is the first step. Okay, this is definitely not enough. We have to twist it much more than this, but let's anneal it. Okay, so let's go for round 2. As always, you do the vise on this side of the wire. Once anneal it, you do that on the same side. Take it as a rule, it's easier in the long run then. If you do practice, you'll be a pro in no time. Don't worry. So I'm twisting again. Not too fast, not too slow, not too tight, not too loose. Remember the story of Goldilocks, just right. Just a bit more. And let's stop here. Okay. Still not ready, but I'm gonna nail it. Getting closer now. Okay, let me see. Yeah, there you go. This is still too loose, okay? They have to be much closer. Okay, you'll see in the end result. So let me anneal it again and we'll meet it again. And we're back. And yes, it does take a long time to do some filigree wire. And we haven't even started the proper work yet. You can obviously buy pre-made wire, to size, and then you just can twist it. So you save up a lot of time doing that, by doing that. It will be costlier though, because price of silver are sky high and you have to pay for manufacturing. But if you don't have time, you know, you can do that. Okay, I'm gonna kneel one last time. We are getting very close now. Can you see that? Much closer. Yeah. So I'm gonna kneel one more time, and hopefully with the next twist it will be ready. Now imagine doing half a kilo like this. Yep. We'll meet for the last one. Now, when you're doing a lot of this, okay, remember that fine silver, unlike sterling silver, can be fused, okay? So if you have, for example, a piece and it will split, after twisting them separately, you know, you can fuse them together and flatten them, you know, so it will become one piece. And when you have a huge roll, then it will be much more organized like that. Instead of having 1,000 pieces, you only have one piece, you know. And then the fused part, you can cut that piece out with a piece of, you know, scissors or something. Not too fast, not too slow. Look at that. There you are. Just a bit more, just a bit more. Okay, just a bit more. If it starts snapping, especially where you put it inside the drill, that's normal, because that's the first piece that takes the most turns, you know, when you're turning. But don't be too quick about it, because you don't want to, you know, ruin a piece. Just go slow and take your time with it. You have to be careful, especially if you're using the battery operated drill. And there we go. Let's look at this now. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Now, and kneel it one last time. We go back to the rolling mill and we'll have to flatten it out. Now it's very important when you flatten it out, not too much pressure. You start, you know, with the rollers apart and then lower them bit by bit until you've got the desired thickness. There are people who measure the thickness. I always go by, you know, feel. So let me anneal it and we'll talk later. Well, here we are, last step. And if you kept on watching all this time, congratulations, you're very patient and you'll do failure just fine. If you skip through, that's okay as well. You'll be fine. So let me open up the rollers a bit. And okay, I can feel resistance. I can pull the silver out. So, oh, and here we go. Let's see, a bit more. And this is where you're gonna test to reach your preferred thickness. Okay, just a bit less. So let me cut that piece off. Up a bit. Okay, I think we're here. Just a tad more. take your time doing this, because once you have to set it up. And then what I do is, when I find the preferred piece, the perfect thickness, I cut it a piece. And next time I'm doing it, I compare it to that piece to see, so I keep the same standard. Okay, I think we're good. So let me see if I can zoom this. This is how it will look like once flattened. This is not flat, and this is flattened here. Okay, so let's flatten it out. Read it through. Look at that beautiful filigree wire that you just did. From raw silver granules to this. Look at that, beautiful. So what you do now is anneal it, and you can start using it in your designs. Well done. So this is the final result I wanted to show you here. Okay. This is how it should look like. After you anneal it, then you can start and use it in your designs. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed, if you want to subscribe, go ahead, and it will make my day. If you have questions, drop a comment and I'll do the best I can. Have a nice day. God bless.